Good evening, all the joinees. Thank you for joining in. Hi, this is Ashi. Welcome to NGEN Markets webinar. Meanwhile, others join in. Let us have a look at today's topic. So, firstly, we'll be looking into holding analysis of mutual funds, understanding individual funds holding analysis, and month-on-month changes. And lastly, we'll be looking into how to generate daily NAV report. And at the end, the forum will be open for a Q&A session. So now let us head to the NGEN Markets landing page. Now this is the NGEN Markets landing page. Now for holding analysis, we'll move towards the Funds tab, which is basically the fourth tab onto the platform. So once you click on Funds, this is the landing page, which is basically the screener that we have provided. Now on the top, you can see the third last tab, which states holding analysis. Now once you click on holding analysis, you can see the four sub tabs. First is sector changes, second is stock changes, next is equity holding, and the last is debt holding. Now in sector changes, you can see how the mutual funds are investing into various sectors. Now here you can select the asset class as per your own preference by clicking on the drop down. Similarly, you can also check for a particular SEBI category as to how they are investing in a specific sector. Now the data that gets generated is in percentage form. You can also check it in terms of values by clicking on this circle, which is right here. Now the data that you see is for the period of past 12 months, which is basically the trend analysis. Now the latest data will be on the extreme right hand side, which is 31st July 2024. Please note that our update cycle runs from 8th to 13th of the month. So the latest data is something that you can see on the extreme right hand side. The next is the number of funds that are under consideration. So basically, if you see for 30th June 2024, there are total 764 funds that are under consideration. This is complete asset class, which is equity, because as of now, we have not selected a specific SEBI category. And for 31st July, we can see that the number of funds under consideration are 778. Now let us understand what this green and pink color code represents. Green color column represents any kind of increase in the investment made in a particular sector in comparison to the previous month. Whereas pink color column or tile represents any kind of decrease in the investment made in a particular sector. Now for 30th June 2024, we can see the average holding towards bank as a sector was 21.55%, which has reduced, represented in the pink color tile to average, that is 20.6%. Now, once you click on this particular icon, you will be able to see the list of all the funds that are holding into bank as a sector. So we can see out of 778, there were 600 such funds, which are basically equity as an asset class, that are investing or holding in bank as a sector. The second column consists of percentage-wise holding. Similarly, you can also find amount-wise holding as well. Now, you can sort this in ascending or descending order accordingly. So for DSP, Nifty Bank Index Fund, we can see that percentage-wise holding is about 99.85%, whereas amount-wise holding is about 45 crore. Now you can download this particular data in Excel format as well. Now let us understand sector-wise holding, selecting a specific SEBI category. Now for example, if I select large cap funds. So now let us understand how large cap funds are investing in IT software as a sector. Now here again the data that gets generated is for the period of past 12 months. On the extreme right hand side, you can see the latest data. Now the number of funds under consideration are 33, which basically indicates that there are total 33 large cap funds. Now for IT software, we can see for 30th June 2024, there was an increase in the investment or holding made towards IT as a sector. So it was about 9.10%. which then reduced furthermore in 31st July 2024, which is about 10.42%. Now, once you click on this particular icon or that particular tile, you will be able to see the list of all the funds that are holding towards IT as a sector. Now we can see out of 33 large cap funds, there are 32 large cap funds that are holding towards this particular sector. Similarly, their percentage wise holding as well as their amount wise holding as well. And again, you can sort this data in descending or ascending order. Now for Grow Large Cap Fund, we can see that it is holding about 14.96% of IT software as a sector. And similarly, it has invested about 20 CR. Now, once you click on that particular fund's name, let us cross-verify this as well as look at the underlying stocks. Now, once you click on that particular fund's name, it will load a single fund analysis. So you can see this is for Grow Large Cap Fund. Now, this is the landing page, which is basically the fund performance. We'll head towards the second tab, which is Asset Allocation tab. And within this particular tab, we can see the third last tab, which indicates equity sector, because we are analyzing on a sector-wise basis. So once you click on equity sector, you can see this second color, black color bar, which is IT software, which is 14.96%, as we were able to see in the holding analysis, which is 14.96%. Similarly, if you want to see the stocks in the IT software, you just click on that particular bar and it will give you the further bifurcation for the same. So you can see the stocks, the individual percentage wise holding. And once you add this last column, it will come up to 14.96% because we are analyzing for IT as a sector. Now this was for the sector wise basis. Now let us understand the holding based upon stock wise. So for that, we'll head towards the second tab, which is stock changes. Now again, Sorry, there was some internet connection issue. We can now resume. So we were analyzing on stock basis. So like mentioning before, you can select the asset class as per your own preference. You can just click on this drop down and select accordingly. Also, you can select the market capitalization as well. So as of now, by default, it is large cap. You can
Apologies for this. We're facing some internet issues. Give us 5 minutes. We'll fix this.
So moving back to holding analysis. Now, as we were analyzing for stock based, like I mentioned before, you have complete flexibility to select a particular asset class. You just click on this drop down and select accordingly. Also, you can select a market capitalization as well. So by default, it is large cap. You can also select mid cap and small cap accordingly. Now, for example, if I select mid cap,
The data that gets generated is in terms of percentage. You can also check it in terms of values or in terms of shares as well. Now, if you want to know what are the funds, the number of funds that are holding in a particular stock, without clicking on that particular percentage, you just want to get an overview. So for that, you just click on this checkbox, which basically mentions show fund count. So within the bracket, you will be able to see the number of mutual funds that are holding in a particular stock. Now, again, the data is for the period of past 12 months. On the extreme right hand side is the latest data. As mentioned earlier, our update cycle runs from 18th to 13th of the month. So 31st July 2024 is the latest. Color coding explanation remains the same. Pink represents any kind of decrease in the investment made in a particular stock, whereas green represents any kind of increase in the investment made in a particular stock. Now, for 30th June 2024, in comparison to the previous month, that is 31st May 2024, we can see that there was a decrease in the percentage wise holding. So, this was 2.06, which was held by 124 funds, as you can see in the bracket, which increased in 31st July 2024 to the average of 2.37%, which is 128 mutual funds are holding towards this particular stock, which is Arbindo Pharma Limited. Now, once you click on this particular percentage, you will be able to get a further drill down as to which all funds are holding in this particular stock, which is Arbindo Pharma Limited. So the details you can see is the percentage wise holding, amount wise holding, as well as the holdings in terms of shares. Similarly, you can just arrange this in ascending or descending order, and you can download this data in the Excel format. Now here we can see Tata India Pharma and Healthcare Fund is holding about 10.06% of Urbindo Pharma. Amount wise, it is 106 CR and share wise 7,41,000 shares. Now let us cross verify this. So we'll just click on that particular fund name. Once you do so, a single fund analysis gets loaded. Now this is the landing page for this particular fund, that is Tata India Pharma and Healthcare Fund. Next is the asset allocation tab. Now within this asset allocation tab, you can see all the holdings for that particular mutual fund. So here you can see that there are total 35 holdings. Now this is as of 31st July 2024. Arbindo Pharma is the second item on the list. So as we were analyzing in the holding analysis, it is a mid cap, and this particular fund is holding 10.06% of Arbindo Pharma, as we were able to see right here. That is Tata India Pharma and Healthcare Fund, 10.06% of Arbindo Pharma Limited as a stock. Also, you can download this data in the Excel format as well, that is all the holdings. You just click on this particular Excel icon. Once it's get downloaded, you will be able to see the holding analysis for that particular mutual fund. So this is how it will look like. So you can see as of the current update and the security name. Similarly, it comes up with the ISIN, the category, market capitalization, as well as percentage, that is percentage wise holding. Now, this was all the trend analysis that we were able to see. Now, if you dedicatedly want to look for equity holding, so for that, we'll move towards this third tab, which is equity holdings. Now, here, let us analyze for a particular stock. Let us take, for example, Adani Enterprises. On the very top, you can see a summary statement which states that more than 7,000 CR is being invested towards Adani Enterprises, and it is done by 113 funds. On the very first column, you can see the name of all these 113 funds, their holdings in terms of percentage, and holdings in terms of amount as well. Now, if we analyze for NJ Arbitrage Fund, we can see holdings in terms of percentage towards Adani Enterprise is about 4.49%. And the AUM of this particular fund is 343 CR, out of which 15.40 CR is being invested towards Adani Enterprises. Also, you can see their 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year return as well. Similarly, you can sort this
Now, the analysis that we have just looked upon was for equity holding. Now, let us understand the mutual fund holding debt as a security. Now, for that, we'll head towards debt holding, which is the last sub-tab when it comes to holding analysis. So you just click on debt holding. Now here you can search company name or ISIN, or you can write debt name. Now, for example, if we take JSW, you just then click on search. Now here you can find a summary statement on the top which states that more than 3 CR is being invested towards JSW as a debt security, which is being done by 15 funds. Now you can find the name of all these 15 funds in the very first column. Similarly, you can see their percentage wise holding as well as holdings in terms of amount. Now, for example, if we take Invesco India Credit Risk Fund, we can see holdings in terms of percentage is about 8.57%. This particular fund has an AUM of 141 CR. And out of this, more than 12 CR is being invested towards JSW. Also, you can see their 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year return as well. Now you can sort this in ascending and descending order accordingly. And also for both equity holding as well as for debt holding, you can download this table in the CSV format. So there's this icon to download the table for both equity and debt holding. Now let us move back to stock changes and analyze the largest increase and decrease and up to what extent. Now for that, we'll head back towards stock changes. And like we were analyzing for mid-cap fund, there we were looking onto Aurobindo Pharma as a stock. And for 31st July, we were seeing that the holding percentage, the average is about 2.37%. Once clicked, we were able to see the list of all the funds as well, similarly percentage-wise, amount-wise, and share-wise holding as well. So we were looking into Tata India Pharma and Healthcare Fund. So once you click on this particular fund's name, again, you can see an individual fund analysis that gets loaded. In asset allocation tab, which is the second tab, we'll move towards position changes by month. Now, this is the overview tab, which is basically the landing page of asset allocation as a tab, indicating of the holdings of that particular mutual funds. Now, we'll head towards this position changes by month. Now, here we can see the largest increase or decrease as well as the position added or removed for past 12 months in comparison to the previous month. Now for 31st July 2024, as mentioned earlier, the update cycle runs from 18th to 13th of the month. So this is the recent. 8th to 13th of the month. So this is the recent. So in comparison to the previous month, that is June, this is the latest data. So we can see the largest increase in comparison to the previous month is towards Aurobindo Pharma. That is 0.63%. Whereas largest decrease in terms of stock is Cipla, which is to the extent of 0.41%. Similarly, you can also see the position added and position removed. Also, you just click on this drop down and you can analyze for past 12 months. So if we check for 30th July 2024 versus the previous month, that is May, we can see that largest increase was towards Dr. Reddy Lab as a stock, which was to the extent of 0.33%. Whereas largest decrease was towards Aurobindo Pharma, which was to the extent of 0.34%. And similarly, you can see the position that was added was Sanofi Consumer, which was 0.72%. Now, next is position over time, which is the next tab within the asset allocation. That is the third tab. Now, here you can see the holding of past 12 months. The data that gets generated here is in terms of percentage. The red shows any kind of decrease in the holding in comparison to the previous month, as well as the green shows any kind of increase in the holding in comparison to the previous month. Now you can see for 30th June 2024, towards Sun Pharma Industry as a security, the holding percentage was 12.89, which increased in 31st July 2024, indicated in green color, that is 13.10%. Now, if you want to know whether this increase was due to increase in shares or increase in price, that can be done by clicking on this drop down, which is right here. Once you click on this drop down and change it to shares in lakhs, You can see Sun Pharma Industries, which is the second item on the list. In 30th June, shares in terms of lakh was 8.04, which was consistent for 31st July 2024 as well. That is shares in lakh, 8.04. So we can see there was no change in terms of shares, which basically means the percentage increase that we were able to see was purely because of increase in the price. Now also you can sort this data in ascending and descending order as well. So you just click and you will be able to sort this in ascending and descending order as per the latest update. Now to cross-verify this, that is increase in the price, you just click on this particular security name, that is Sun Pharma Industries, and it will load a single stock-based analysis. Now this is the graphical representation. As you can see, the blue line represents the stock price. Now, if you just drag this, you will be able to see the changes accordingly. So we can see that yes, there was significant increase in the price. Now this was on single fund as well as single stock basis as well. Now you can also see this sector wise as well. So this was biosecurity. You can also check it in terms of sector by clicking on this particular circle, which is right here on the top. So this is for pharmaceutical as a sector. So the color coding explanation remains the same. The red represents any kind of decrease in terms of percentage wise holding, and green represents increase in the holdings in comparison to the previous month. So we can see for pharmaceutical as a sector, there was a decrease in 30th June 2024 in comparison to the previous month, which was about 77.41%, which increased in 31st July 2024 to 79.06%. Now you can also do a category analysis and you can also download the current holding for the same. So for that, we'll head back towards NGEN Markets platform and we'll move towards the Compares tab, which is the fourth tab on the platform. Now this is the landing page for the Compares tab. Here in the Add group, we'll select a particular SEBI category. Now let us take, for example, multi-cap funds. Now within bracket, you can see that there are total 26 multi-cap funds. Once you click, all these 26 funds will get loaded. Now let us download the current holdings for this particular SEBI category that we have loaded. You can also download the current holdings for the funds that you might select. So you just select these funds, save this list, and in my list, you can locate that particular list that you have created. Now we'll move towards bulk download, which is the very last tab. Now, once you click on bulk download, here you can download all the current holdings of all the funds that are on the main list. So as of now, there are 26 funds in the main list. You just click on this Excel icon, which is right here. And within 5 to 10 seconds, this Excel will get generated. So once this gets generated, here you can see the name of the funds, their holdings, as well as the percentage-wise holding as well. Now let us take, for example, you want to know which all funds are holding towards HDFC Bank. So for that, we'll just apply filter. And once you apply filter, you just click on this drop down for the holdings. You just deselect and search for HDFC Bank. And then you click on OK. Once you do so, you will get all the multi-cap funds that are holding towards HDFC Bank. And similarly, the percentage-wise holding for the same as well. Now let us understand how to download daily NAV report that gets generated on daily basis. So for that, we'll head back to the NGEN Markets platform. And in the funds tab itself, again, which is the fourth tab on the platform, we'll head towards this report option, which is right beside the holding analysis option. So once you click on report, all you have to do is click on this plus icon, which is the subscribe button. And every day around 10:30, you will get an NAV report on your registered email ID. Similarly, you can also download it manually without subscribing as you can see on the right hand side. So this NAV report is for both regular funds and direct funds. Now this report is of 16th August 2024. So you just click on this Excel icon and it gets downloaded. Now the NAV that you will be able to see for 16th August 2024 will contain the NAV details of 14th August, because 15th being holiday, which was basically the Independence Day. So once this gets generated, you will be able to see the bucket classes, or the 5 buckets, which is basically the SEBI asset classes. Now, for example, if you want to check within this equity as an asset class for large cap funds, you just click on large cap funds and you will be able to see the list of all these 33 large cap funds, their NAV as of 14th August 2024, because 15th being holiday, and similarly some basic details regarding the same. So month on month and year on year return as well. Now, if you want to check for some other category, so you just move back to the index, and let us take, for example, you want to check NAV of mid cap funds. So you just click on mid cap funds, and similarly, you can find the details of NAV of all the mid cap funds, which is right here. So these are 29 mid cap funds, and similarly, their basic details related to month on month and year on year return. Similarly, you can also see a bar chart representation, which is a statistics representing the AUM of all these mid-cap funds. So that was it for the session. The forum is now open for a Q&A.
In case of any questions, please let us know.
Okay, if there's no more questions, no questions today, then we can conclude for today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in and being patient. We are sorry for the disturbance that was created. Um, Also, you can visit our YouTube channel and find a dedicated webinar playlist that has been created. So there's this YouTube icon in the platform. So you can just head towards the playlist. And as of now, there are total 123 videos. Today's video will be released by next week. Thank you so much, everyone, and happy weekends.